Press B and C to throw your opponent. Throws can't be blocked, but you need to be near enough to your opponent to pull it off. You can also throw them in the air, and even during a combo. In addition to your normal attacks, you also have special attacks. The actual command to do one depends on who you use, but it's always a motion on the directional button followed by an action button. We'll list the exact commands in the character-specific sections for you. Distortion drives are just like special attacks, but stronger, so they need 50% of your heat to do. Just like special attacks, the command to do one depends on the character. Press A, B, and C the moment your attack lands to do a rapid cancel. Rapid cancels interrupt your attack, instantly allowing you to do something else entirely, whether it be to continue your attack or to stop yourself so you can retreat safely. Astral Heats are finishing moves you can use against your opponent, but there are 3 conditions that need to be met in order to use them. 1, it's the final round of the match. 2, your opponent has less than 20% of their health. And 3, your heat gauge is full. And just like special attacks and distortion drives, the command to do one depends on who you use. BlazBlue has a large number of defensive options at your disposal. You don't need to know all of them to enjoy the game, but you'll be a better player once you become acquainted with them. Press the direction opposite of your opponent to block their attacks, back to block high attacks, and down back to block low ones. If you're blocking a special attack, each hit will lower your HP by a small amount, which is commonly called chip damage. Keep in mind that not all attacks can be blocked while standing. Some attacks need to be blocked low, and vice versa. So watch what your opponent is doing and react appropriately. Press A, B, or C while you're knocked down to roll and quickly get up. You can control a roll's direction with the directional buttons and even perform it while you're in the air. Remember that if you're knocked down, you're still open to be hit by your opponent, so make sure you roll at the right time to avoid getting smashed. The more common term for this act of recovering is the Japanese martial arts word ukemi, which roughly translates to falling technique. You may come across that word often if you're looking stuff up online. In BlazBlue, exclamation marks will appear over you every time you're thrown normally, a green one if it's a regular throw, and a set of purple ones if you're thrown while being hit. Press B and C during that time to escape it. And no, you can't mash buttons. If you do that, a big fat throw, reject, miss will appear on the screen and you'll still be thrown. So keep an eye on what your opponent is doing and you'll be just fine. Hold A and B while you're blocking to perform a barrier block. Blocking this way will stop the movement of the guard libra, push your opponent further away, and negate any chip damage you receive from normally blocking special attacks. This move gives you a slightly stronger block in exchange for draining your barrier gauge, but be careful so you don't completely drain it. If it empties out, you'll enter a danger state where you'll take more damage if you're hit. The barrier gauge automatically recovers over time. Block just before you're hit to perform an instant block. You'll know you're doing it right when your character flashes white. When you use an instant block, you'll take less time to recover from the block, meaning you'll be able to retaliate that much faster, and you'll even gain a little heat. For those who are interested, it's 5-frame advantage on the ground and a 10-frame advantage in the air. Press forward, A, and B while you're blocking to perform a counter assault. This move needs 50% of your heat gauge, but allows you to knock your opponent away from a blocking stance. It's a good way to get out if you're being pressured and have some heat to spare. Press A, B, C, and D to use your barrier burst. This is your last line of defense, able to knock your opponent away if you're blocking or being comboed. Once it's been used, it completely expands your barrier gauge and throws you in a danger state for the rest of the round. For those who are interested, a barrier burst activates in 8 frames with a full barrier gauge, 20 frames with 99 to 50% of the gauge, and 32 frames in 49 to 1%. There are a few properties and situations that can occur in BlazBlue that you should probably be aware of. A clash occurs when you and your opponent's attack hit each other at the same time, so neither of you will take any damage. This will still register as a hit though, so you can continue your combo or cancel it into a special. A counter hit occurs when you land an attack against your opponent when they're still in the middle of theirs. A successful counter hit will force your opponent into a long recovery, not allowing them to roll when they normally could have, so use that opportunity to do a combo you normally wouldn't be able to do. Negative penalty lowers the defense of the person who keeps trying to run away.